Well, hey, what's up, YouTube? Today we are looking at the verse-by-verse reference Bible, TruTone Deep Brown from our friends at Crossway, our amazing friends at Crossway who've been so good to my YouTube channel. Really appreciate not only their Bible publishing ministry, but their books are incredible, some of the best stuff in the world. Hey, anyways, today we're talking about preaching Bibles, and people have been asking me, here's the old Cambridge Wide Margin Eagle Bible that you probably know I've been preaching from for a long time now, 4 years. Just did the 4-year review. If you haven't seen that video, definitely want to check out how much this bad boy has changed over the years that I've had it. Anyways, one of the questions people have asked me is is it still easy to preach with this Bible given how many notes are in it absolutely everywhere? And the answer is no, it's actually not quite as easy as it used to be because I have so many obstacles in my way when I'm preaching in the text. It's hard to sometimes find my verses, and one of the things that's particularly a challenge of this, and we'll get to the Crossway verse by verse here in just a minute, but one of the challenges of a reference Bible like this, now this is a paragraphed Bible, is that sometimes the footnotes actually confuse me with the verse numbers when I'm actually preaching in the moment itself. Now let's tighten up on this shot here and see if we can look at this paragraph here. One of the things that you're going to notice is that you have a series of footnotes here. So for instance, you see footnote number 3 right there in verse 1, and you see another footnote in verse 2 where you see the small number 4 after the word God's in the phrase God's house. And so you've got a 2, a 4, and a 3 right in a row there. And if you're preaching, if you're in the midst of this particular text, that's going to confuse you. Now, obviously, I can count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No problem. But all I'm saying is in the heart of the preaching moment itself, a paragraphed Bible sometimes can be just a little bit visually confusing. You're trying to speak with your mouth and look at your Bible with your eyes, and it gets a little bit hard. So all that to say, I've actually been doing something crazy if you've been following my page, and that is I've been experimenting with other Bibles besides the Wide Margin of the Cambridge and the Pitt Minion also of Cambridge, which you know I love. I've been experimenting with preaching Bibles, and I've been using various different ones lately. And here's the next one I'm going to try, the featured Bible that we're looking at today. And this Bible is especially designed to resolve the very problem I just mentioned, i.e. that it's sometimes difficult to figure out what verse you're on, which is, of course, a problem when you're a preacher. So, a little bit about this Bible right here. This is a TruTone Bible in a beautiful deep brown cover. So this is not a leather Bible, but Crossway's TruTones are absolutely amazing. It does have a paste down paper liner, and so you know what I think about those. It's not going to last forever. But here's the beauty of this particular Bible. This is a verse-by-verse edition. So if we look at, here I just randomly opened it to 1 Samuel chapter 25, you'll notice that each one of the verses drop down, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, verse 5. And not only that, but the verse numbers are actually bolded. Okay, so this is perfect for preaching in a verse-by-verse style. If you are going to exposit this chapter, this is John chapter 2, the wedding at Cana, there's absolutely no question in your mind where the verses end and the next one begins because you have this beautiful drop-down style. If you are a King James Version fan, this is probably all you ever know because most King James Version Bibles are actually printed in this way, in a verse-by-verse style. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you that the trend right now is away from verse-by-verse and towards a more integrated reading experience, which is why we're seeing a lot of single-column Bibles. This, of course, is a double-column Bible. We're seeing a lot of very minimized styles where some Bibles are even taking out the references and chapter numbers altogether to make it look exactly like a book that you might sit down and read on a beautiful Saturday afternoon like we have here in Brooksville, Florida today. Okay, so depending on what the function of the Bible is, your layout is going to be different. And I'm just simply saying this. I think that this verse-by-verse style from Crossway is absolutely fantastic if you are a verse-by-verse preacher, because in the very moment of the preaching act itself, there is absolutely no confusion that's going to happen as you're speaking with your mouth and looking with your eyes. Just a beautiful verse-by-verse layout style here. Now, a couple of quibbles about this particular edition. Of course, there's always give and take in every Bible form and layout. One of the things that just kind of confuses me about this Bible is that you have this almost an inch wide margin here on the outside of both pages, left and right, but the inner margin is only 1/2 of an inch, and for me, I find that to be a little bit confusing. I really wish I could just kind of take this and pull it over to the right so that both of the margins were exactly the same. I've never understood why they do that, sometimes making the outer margin wider than the inner margin. If you're going to use margins for note-taking at all, it would seem to me to be reasonable that you would have the outside and the inside margins the same. So part of my obsessive-compulsive disorder here is going to be a problem in that I'm constantly going to be wishing I could just pull this text over and make those margins a little bit even. If not, I'm going to have a hard time using the margins at all for writing, and that would lead me to the conclusion that I'd almost rather have this removed so that the Bible was lighter for preaching in my hand. Nevertheless, having said all that, this is a fantastic Bible. I'm definitely going to give this Bible a try in the pulpit. It's not leather, it's TruTone, as I mentioned before. The paper quality is fairly good. I wouldn't say it's excellent, but it's very good. And the line matching is not present in this particular edition. I'm not sure why. I think every Bible in 2018 should be line matched by this point in Bible printing history. But nevertheless, this one is not. So it's going to start line matched up here at the top, but then whenever you get to a chapter break and a section division here, that's going to throw it off, and you notice a lot of mismatched lines from the back page to the front page. Okay, so if that's going to drive you nuts, then maybe this isn't the Bible for you. Having said all that, this is a fantastic preaching Bible. I am definitely going to give this Bible a try in the pulpit because I love verse-by-verse style. I think it's going to really help me in my preaching. I'm probably not even going to write a lot of notes in this Bible, as a matter of fact. I'm going to keep note-taking in my wide margin and pretty much just use this for the preaching event itself. I might take some very mild, short pencil notes here in the columns just to identify, remind myself visually where I'm at. I might do that, but I'm going to use pencil in this one because I plan to erase those markings after I preach that particular passage. All right, beautiful fonts. The font size here is 9-point lexicon. Excellent readable font for preachers. Also notice that you have your references here in the bottom right corner of each page. So you do have a full reference suite if you're used to the Crossway reference style. It's not in the center column, but on the bottom right of every column. New books begin on new pages. I do like that too. I find that to be a very clean layout. And I have to tell you, I'm pretty excited about preaching from this Bible. I'm going to do so at my next available sermon. Probably going to end up replacing this measly little ribbon here. I always replace the ribbons in my Bibles just because I love those nice thick red ribbons that I use from time to time. So let me just mention this in closing here that I'm going to post a link to this Bible, the exact link over to Amazon. So if you're interested in getting a verse-by-verse edition, you can just toggle down to the description of this video that'll be down there in the box, and you can grab this exact Bible. This is not an expensive Bible. It's sewn, it's Smythe sewn, the paper is great, but it's not an expensive Bible because it's TruTone and it's paced down with paper liner here. So it's going to make it very, very reasonable and affordable. Sometimes Bibles just get too pricey, but this is going to be a great medium between value and quality. Also, just mention this in closing here, love the stitching around the perimeter. That just makes this really look tight, yes. And the TruTone, very soft and feels great in the hand. Okay, so description, get the link right to Amazon, go get it. Don't forget you can subscribe to this channel, hit the subscribe button right there. That'd be awesome. You don't have to, but it'd be cool if you did. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Matt_Everhard. And be sure to hop over to our Faith Evangelical Presbyterian Church YouTube channel where all of my sermons are. Good stuff there as well. Love ya. Check you later. Have a great day.